yourself social? How many people would consider yourself sane? Yep. Welcome to real estate.
Technically, none of us should be doing contracts. None of us
All right, so we have got some exciting panel questions today, but before we get started, I just wanted to introduce our fabulous, hold up, Rusty, get my good side. Okay. Just wanted to introduce.
Oh, she's good.
All right, so we have the lovely Miss Deanna Beltran, who is a broker at Alta Real Estate. And how long have you been in the business?
I've been in the real estate industry for about 8 years, but I've actually been a realtor for about 4 years.
Yes, and I met you when you first became an agent.
Yes.
Yay! Okay. All right, and then we have Mr. DeCory Carter. Yes. And he is with Caldwell Banker Elite in which office?
Downtown office.
Downtown office, okay. And how long have you been a realtor?
6 years. Almost 6 years.
Okay.
6 years.
Sweet, very nice. All right, and then of course we have the illustrious Mr. Drew Fristow. Oh my God, wait a minute. See, when you're sitting down, we're the same height. And Drew is also with Caldwell Banker Elite at the Massaponax office. And how long have you been a realtor?
14 years.
Woo! Yes. All right, so I asked you guys a question that I wanted you to share with everyone, okay? Because all of you know that real estate is always about relationships, okay? Yes, you need to know all these things, you need to be able to help your clients, but it's about building the relationships. So let's learn a little something about our panelists. Deanna, tell us something about yourself that you think nobody else here knows about you.
So I kind of went like the funny way, right? So nobody knows that I used to be the Easter Bunny at the mall.
Oh, yeah! I'm gonna have to go back and check my pictures with my kids, look inside, see if it's you that I recognize.
And my hair actually caught on fire in there because in the top of the head they have a fan. And my hair was literally like down to here, and I would always wear it in a really messy bun on top of my head, and my hair got caught in the fan and caught on fire while I was in the bunny suit.
Oh my God.
So I'm over here like, hey, help me, to the photographer, and they're like, oh, that Easter bunny's so funny. Well, I ended up with a bob, and
oh my God! Okay, I'm gonna steal that story and tell it about my. No, just kidding.
No, it
That's
was
good.
good.
All right, Mr. Carter, what
I
you
don't know if I
got?
could top that one. I don't know.
Go funny or tell a poop story.
I don't got any fun stuff. I mean, I like to take my naps during the day, so.
Okay.
But sometimes who knows where I'm taking a nap at. So when I first started at the office, I used to take a nap in my car.
Oh my God! So
I gotta have a nap.
People
like,
thought
at
you
least
were a
once
homeless
day.
person sitting outside and asked if they could help you buy a
So
house.
that's my thing. Like I got
How long are these naps?
like 30, 40 minutes, and then I'm ready to go. You know, it's like a lunch break.
Power nap.
Yeah,
Power nap.
probably.
I like it.
But
All right.
I need it daily.
Okay.
I'm thinking about it
What
now.
time?
It's usually like 12. So
12?
I'm ready to go.
Okay. All right. Cool. And I just have to know for myself, how many tats do you have?
11, I think.
Sweet. Okay. I'm trying to figure out my next one. So, all right.
I got
We'll talk
no
later.
girls' names or anything.
Oh, yes. Smart man. Yes. Okay. All right.
I'm really open book. So I'm gonna go with something that some people may know, some people don't. When I was high school and younger, I was incredibly shy to the point, like if I had to speak in front of class, I would cry, like, and to a point where it was very inappropriate. If you know me today, I'm not shy at all. So I used to be like super shy.
So did I. I mean, really, like, and I stuttered. And I had like no friends until I got to like high school. Aww.
Did you cry before coming in here?
What?
Did you cry today?
Did you?
I take naps in your car and cry in my car.
You've been through enough hardship now.
All right, guys.
Are crying in your car.
Thank you for sharing with us. And now we are going to move along to our panel, and I'm going to bring up the fabulous Miss Allison Graves, who is the YPN chair. I keep on
Yes.
wanting to call her president, Madam President, First Lady, whatever. But anyways, please start our panel so
Well,
that
thank you.
everyone.
It's nice to see everyone this morning. Thanks so much for taking your time and spending it with us. So, in real estate, we all know the joy of the business is that you can be connected anywhere, and that can be the downside of the business, right? If anyone's tried to go on vacation or take a break, it's like Murphy's Law. Whenever you're going out of town, that's when like people are coming out of the woodwork. You know, you talk to someone like 8 months ago and they're like, oh yeah, I'm moving tomorrow. And where are you right now? You know, so let's talk about how we manage our time. So I need help in this arena, and I'm hoping that you guys can share some insight. What do you guys do to manage your time? What do you do? What's your morning routine? And you guys can just all, you know, chime in.
I will not give a good answer. I am not a morning person. Mornings are tough for me. I like roll, like I'm, like if you've seen that meme of those two dogs on the car and there's that one that's like really excited when that one like kind of said something like that, that's me. And so morning routine is not for me, so you two take it.
Well, I'll say I'm a morning person, but so I usually wake up at like 5:30. But so like, and I check my emails, I check like the market and all that stuff. But before I go to bed, like I literally put my iPad in the bed. So I do it like laying down and just reply to the emails. Hopefully I submitted an offer the night before and I get, oh, congratulations, and not, sorry, you weren't picked. But I do that in the morning, eat breakfast, and I go to the gym, and then I come to the office like around like 8 or 9, depending on when I get finished over there. And I try to use that time to like not like answer my phone for like phone calls. All my friends that put me in these group chats, but I try to use that as like my me time. But sometimes I end up answering the phone.
I kind of do the same thing. First thing when I wake up, I check my emails, check my text messages, all the group messages with the brokerage, make sure none of my agents need anything, none of my clients. Then I'll usually get up and coffee is usually the first thing that happens. And then I'll do my to-do list for the day. I like to do that first thing in the morning because it sets my day up for success. And without that to-do list, I'm lost. And then I waste a lot of time trying to figure out what I should be doing. So the to-do list is a must, and then I usually just start getting ready for the day, and then I'm out the door by 8:30.
This is why she's a broker.
I'm gonna give you a 5:30 wake up call tomorrow.
My phone will be on silent.
Well, which leads me to ask, do you have open hours? You know, if a client contacts you in the middle of the night, are you responding, or do you set hours for yourself for business?
My phone's on 24/7. I'm really good with responding within an hour to my agents and my clients. If I am up at 1 a.m., I will answer you at 1 a.m. If I'm asleep, then no, it'll be first thing in the morning at 9 a.m. because I don't want to wake anybody else up at 5:30 in the morning. But no, my phone's on. If I'm awake, I'm responding.
I'm kind of the same way too, except for if it's like 11 o'clock or like 12 o'clock, you know, especially Friday. I'll be honest, Friday, Saturday, I can't respond at 11, 12, but it's normally on, and I try, you know, in the evening time late at night to answer it, but if I don't, first thing in the morning, not like Deanna said, when I first wake up, 'cause it's kind of rude to wake someone up at 5 in the morning.
So rude.
So like 7 or 8, I feel like it's, you know, appropriate to respond, but yeah.
I will say that pre-COVID, I'd gotten into the habit of trying to have more strict hours, but when COVID hit and the market went crazy, it went out the door, and I will answer my phone if I'm awake. I've called my broker at 1 in the morning before and she answered, and so.
That's awesome. You have a very good one.
1 and 1.
We're all crazy.
No one's sleeping.
Take a note on that.
My broker turns her notifications off, which is very smart. Okay, do we time block? How do we manage our time?
feel like this is gonna be you guys' question.
All right, hold on, just 1 second. Does everyone here, does everyone here know what time blocking is? Are you familiar? Yes? Okay, does anybody have a question about what time blocking is? Okay, continue, please.
I do not time block. I am not that structured. I am kind of all over the place with kids and agents and realtors, and I feel like if I were to time block, I would actually do myself a disservice because I would never be able to stick to it. I'm not that regimented. I think I'm more of a free spirit, and I'm not regimented at all.
So no time blocking either? Alright, so I try to time block, mainly because I do a lot throughout the day, so I try to do like 2 or 3 hours. Whether it's, I think today it's like 12 to 2 or so. But sometimes it just doesn't work out, but I try like Sunday, try to block out, so, what time I can block out for this to, work on business or do my follow-ups or whatnot. Especially, like during basketball season, I coach boys basketball, so I gotta like block out that time before practice and after practice, cause I have to be there. So I do think time blocking is important, but I know sometimes it's just impossible to, if you block off 2 or 3 hours, you may only get an hour, so.
Do you guys have any tips for balancing your career with all of your extracurricular activities? We know you're so involved with the association, Decori's sports, and your landscaping. Deanna's busy with everything. So, any tips for the rest of us on how you do it?
Just keep your phone charged.
Ah.
Keep your phone charged. I
That's a
mean,
good tip.
I've been in like basketball practice, on the bus, like writing a contract or negotiating a contract or like texting someone or calling someone. I've been like cutting grass and had to write up, look up a house on the internet, I keep my iPad on me. So you just, just keep your phone charged and, you'll figure it out,
And I'll say, I don't do time blocking, but scheduling is super important. I'm sure it is
Yes.
for you too. Where, and like you said, like I teach a class at Gold's Gym every Monday at 6:45. I know
Is that AM or PM?
PM.
I was about to say, there's no way you're making this
Wait,
full
what?
time.
Night out. I teach Dan's cardio class. It's called Body Jam and Shabam.
What? It's
Amazing.
amazing.
Never take
No,
it.
I've never.
Maybe that's my.
Can
I,
you do
te-
a
I can
YPN?
dance. It doesn't look like I can, but I can.
I can't dance.
Yes, it is.
I can't
Bless.
dance.
So scheduling is super important, and so I've been doing this for 14 years. The first, I'll say, like 8 years, I treated work as a priority and family as just like, oh, I'll do that later. And looking back, I missed a lot, and so I wish I had not done that. So scheduling had, Allison's, I'm very involved as a past president of FAR. I'm on the board of directors of Virginia Realtors. I do stuff at NAR, so I'm traveling a lot. So scheduling, having someone here to help you, and having your phone charged and having backup chargers. But making time for your family is super important. Don't forget them.
So when it comes time to go to the lake with your family,
I just worked the whole time from the house while they went out on the boat. It was fine.
Yes. I have friends
Oh my
that
I was at the lake.
they won't invite me because they're saying, all you're gonna do is stay on your phone the whole time. I'm like, I've gotten better. I have gotten better at it, and just, I'll go out to the lake and I don't have cell phone service, so I will
That's
make
like
sure I
very-
do every
That's
single
when you're
thing
sick.
before
That's
this.
true.
So if I wanna use it, like, I can't use it, but I had to force myself to, get some me time and not just be, work.
You notice I'm really quiet. I do not balance family and career very well. I know where my weaknesses are. My husband has asked me a few times, "Are we still married?" I haven't seen you in 3 days. So no, seriously, I'm always on the go. But he's super supportive, and if it wasn't for his support and his understanding, I wouldn't be able to do the things that I do. But no, I do not balance that well. It's rough, right? Like he said, your family's like not gonna invite you because you're being on your phone the whole time. But I'm not gonna leave my agents hanging because you want me to play horseshoes, like that's just, or cornhole, like that's just, I'm gonna be in the house on the computer. Like, I know it's bad, but
Yeah.
what it is.
I do vent to some of my family members a lot. Like, I'll vent to my grandma, and she's like, how much is the commission again? I'm like, I told you this a million times.
It's
But
it's
I
worth
just
it.
do it just, to, let off some steam, and she doesn't give me any advice on it, she's asking me to do something else. But it's just kinda nice to like vent, and, she's retired, and she's like, I don't have to work, but, it's just good to kinda like blow off that steam and not like, go talk to a friend that's working, and they're like, oh, they're complaining about their job,
But it
It's like-
sounds like what you guys have done, and I know we've talked about this before, is that you have these discussions with your family, and so everyone knows what to expect.
They do.
Yes.
And I will also say, if you do have a husband or partner or wife or boyfriend, girlfriend, I have been with mine for 12 years, and he and I have the relationship of where if I've worked too much and he can see me
Yes.
cracking a little bit, he can stand up to me and be like, Drew, pause, cause I'm a lot. And
Me too.
you need to like step back a second and just take a little break. So having that person that's able to call you on your stuff and be like, you need to rest for a second.
My husband will definitely call me on my stuff, and sometimes will take the phone and say, it needs to be gone for 15 minutes, here's a book, go do something for yourself. And so he's very good at making me take that time for myself. So, yes, good point. So make sure you prepare your significant others for what you're going through.
Well, I feel like a lot in this business is about expectations, so
Yes.
personally and professionally, and making sure that expectations are communicated and clear and in line with what everyone's expecting. But no, this is a common theme. I think a lot of our panels have been on how to balance life and business, and
It's hard.
we're all trying to figure this out.
Because real estate waits for no one. Like,
No.
if you're not available, they will find someone who is. If you don't write that offer right away, especially in the market we've been in the last 2.5 years, the house is gone before you even have 2 hours to write that offer. So there just has been no time to balance things in the last 2.5 years.
It's very hard to find time to balance, but I always find time for harmony.
Ooh,
More
expand on that.
Hashtag that.
That's true.
How? How do you do that?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's, I have to know, well, I mean, like this little graph that we put on here, so like what's important, what's less important, what's urgent, and what's less urgent. So, I mean, it's kind of like a mental thing. It's like, okay, is this really important to me and to my business? Does it fall into my business plan, or is this someone else that's telling me it's important? Is this urgent? Do I need to answer this call now? Or is it something that can wait until the morning? And then I schedule it. And if it's not important, it's not urgent, then I don't do it or I delegate it.
Well, that's great, because you can get easily bogged down with all of the, a lot of times, it's not what you've scheduled, it's all of the unforeseen
Yeah.
fires that
Yeah.
have
Like,
been
I
put
wanna see
out
this house
throughout the
now.
day that take precedence, and so you do end up, having, me personally, having to triage the day away. Okay, so let's talk about how we get social. Let's talk social media. So, do we use social media campaigns for advertising our business?
I do not. I don't pay for any social media advertising. I think it's because I'm on there so much that it gets seen, so I don't boost ads or anything like that. Now, I do boost them for the brokerage, but not for myself.
So do you, are you active on social media personally?
Facebook, yes.
Okay.
Instagram and TikTok, I will go on occasionally if I think of something funny to post, but usually it's Facebook. That's where most of my sphere is too.
I'm a Facebook person, full Facebook and Instagram person. Earlier we were just talking about the Instagram. I was like, I kind of like that a little bit more because Facebook is, we have thousands and thousands of friends and all the stuff that's going on in the world. They're just posting and commenting, so you can't really, engage that much. So I've been engaging more kind of on Instagram with the reels and stuff. But I do post on social media, because I think it's important to, for your followers, friends, clients to know that you're like a regular human being and not like, oh, he sold a house, he sold a house, he sold a house, he sold a house. Like, oh, that's all that you do. But I like it because, you know, I want my clients, you know, to know that like I do fun stuff, you know, so we can connect and build that relationship. Because I think that's important when you have a client, is like building that relationship with them. So I try to show that on social media if they're my friend. Usually I add them like after the transaction, but I think that's the best way to do it, so that they know that you're a regular person and not like, oh, I just want to get you through this transaction.
I'm exactly the same. So I'll boost like listings that I have, but I don't post that much on real estate, which I really should, because a few recently have been like, are you still in real estate? And I'm like, but I do the same. I like to connect more with people on things. I like the things I've connected with people the most is this Mopnado I have that I like to clean. It's actually where I turn off my phone and I'll clean my house when I need to de-stress. But I have a Mopnado. If you want to talk about it, we'll talk about it afterwards. And I have a good ice machine, the pellet ice. I have one of those.
Good ice.
And I got it 6 years ago, and I post about it all the time, and people know me because and my husband. I feed my husband, so people know me.
Feed the Chris.
That's wonderful, because it is all about relationships and the connection, and it's important to show that you are a real person, and not just a real estate robot.
As I will say, listening to us, I feel like we are robots. But it is nice to know we're trying to show that we are not robots.
I've been trying to do it like lately, like man, I'm looking at my social media, I'm like, it's just real estate, real estate, real estate. So I try to break it up, and so people can be like, oh, he's not a robot, like he's a cool person. I think I'm a cool person.
Facebook is how my
Are we
mom
friends
keeps
on
track of
Facebook?
me.
Yes. Oh no, because I shared this thing. So.
I shared this.
I mean, you're close.
No, I feel that my, one of my latest listings, the realtor associate I'm partnering with, we were taking pictures and she put like one of our blooper pictures online, and I was like, oh my God, I'm making a funny face. And she's like, no, that's important for people to see that you're like a real person. And I was like, I can't look at the picture because I'm like, oh no, like that's not right.
She's like a double
Just gotta roll with it.
Just gotta roll with it.
You have to know we now all wanna look up.
I know, hold on, we are all now going to our phones.
It's you and Heather.
Okay.
I actually used that, the bloopers thing to my advantage on Facebook a lot. So I posted a picture of myself the other day actually, and was like, hey, I gave a long list of what I was doing that day. It's how my mom keeps track of me. And then, she knows I'm still alive. And then I said, oh, and there's a surprise in the comments. Go look at it and tell me what you think, or what your response to that picture is. And it's literally me making like this god awful funny face in the comments, and then it just gets people interacting on your post, and then they're posting funny pictures back, they're posting GIFs, whatever you want to call those things, and back, so it just kind of gets them involved with you.
Did it spark a lot of engagement?
It did, yeah. So, and then I had a lot of personal Facebook messages that were just like, I can't believe you posted that, that's awesome, I could never do that. And then it's just a conversation. Right. And then that's how relationships build, off of a funny post.
100%.
Yeah.
There was a takeaway from our last panel. One of our panelists said, get comfortable with being uncomfortable, and you'll do well in the business. And I feel like this is a good example.
Yes.
Okay, do we share videos, and where do we get content? Do we get content? Is it yours organically and personal, or are you posting real estate?
I don't post real estate. I post about my mom, my ice machine, feeding my husband, and I bake sometimes home. So mine's all just random things. But whenever I go around the country to different real estate conferences, people walk up to me, and Chris will be with me. Chris will come with me, and they'll go, is that Chris? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, he's right here. Yeah, you talk to him and you're like, have you fed him? Have you fed him? So it's like people already know me and know Chris, and they love to connect that way. Exploit your loved ones.
Exploit your.
Everyone loves Chris more than me. Which I get it. I'm annoying.
You balance. You guys are like yin and yang. Balance each other out well.
Yeah, I try to share a lot of stuff. As far as videos, I think I have shared a couple ones, and I think everybody hates to hear their voice on video. I know I do. I always tell myself I'm trying to get better at that, but just post it. But I try to share videos like on your stories, like on Instagram. I don't really do it on Facebook because I don't look at people's stories on Facebook because I feel like they were like second to do it. Like, so I always go to Instagram and post on there and like just reshare and I have friends with agents in the office. So I always share like their listings, and you just scroll through and you just hit share, and there it is, real estate content. Like, you don't really have to come up with it. So I guess I say I take the easy way out, hit the share button, but it's content is content.
Work smarter, not harder.
And I will say, there's a great realtor out of North Carolina. Her name is Lee Brown. Look her up on Facebook. She does a lot. She's amazing. But she said something a few years ago in a class where I was like, because I hate my voice. By the way, I'm gay, and it's super gay, and I hate it. And I just, it's all I hear. But so she was like, she was trying to get people into video, and I was just like, I don't want people to hear my voice. And she was like, well, if they're gonna be clients, which is your end goal, they're gonna hear your voice and they're gonna see your face, so just do the video. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. So just like they're gonna meet you eventually, they're gonna have to hear you and see your face, so just do the video, which has really helped.
So I recently I have my own personal transactions and then the brokerage. So for the brokerage, I've been doing YouTube videos. And started a YouTube channel for our brokerage, so that has been very interesting. No one is more self-critical of you than yourself, and so thank goodness for editing. So I'm self-teaching editing on YouTube, so that's been a lot of fun. So I do use that content to also share on my Facebook. So I'm kind of killing two birds with one stone. I also will do stories a lot with like what's going on in my day. I do try to mix a lot of personal stuff in with my real estate so that I'm not just always talking real estate. But I also use Ladies of Real Estate. That is a great tool. It's not only for ladies, by the way. It's more of like a Canva kind of layout. It works through Canva, but it gives you designs. So you can do your flyers, you can do landing pages for your social media. That is a great tool, and it's really inexpensive per month to use, and it makes all of your social media content look super professional. So I think that's a really good mix if you use the videos and like something like Ladies of Real Estate.
Wonderful. Now, where are you getting what content are you putting on YouTube?
It will be what the market's doing. It will be information for first-time home buyers, what to do before listing a house. We actually got some really good information from Nextdoor Photos. Gavin, we got some really good information from him on how to prepare your sellers for pictures. So we have done, but I don't know if I've posted that one yet, a video on that. It's just all different content. We'll also do like a listing of the week of what our agents have that may have been on the market for a couple more days than others. Just trying to educate people on how to buy homes and how to be smart and how to choose an agent, and just kind of also about what our brokerage does too.
Wonderful. You can ask about TikTok.
Okay, well, hold on. All right, so everyone here like understands, okay, stories are on Facebook, reels are on Instagram, okay?
I learned that today.
Well, see, I mean, just make sure everyone knows, but then of course, we've got this new kid on the block.
The devil.
Yes, the rabbit hole, the devil's rabbit hole, yes.
Careful what you give to that app.
Yeah,
So-
I think we're all supposed to delete it. That's
Yeah, they
what
said
my
delete
latest
it.
thing with TikTok was.
Okay, so yeah, so we're gonna bring up
I love the
TikTok. Do you guys, so do you guys use TikTok? for business. Let me back up. Do you
For
use
business.
for business?
So I do have a couple of business related videos on my TikTok. I have one that my lockbox was doing something funny and it was just going in circles with the lights. So I literally put a beat to it and was like, this is getting ready to put this on the house. And so I do have a couple, because I was like, I don't know what it's doing, I'm wasting time. I'm like, well, we'll make it useful time. So, so I did put that on TikTok. There's a couple of where I literally had headed out into the ice storm to show a home. So I played Ice Ice Baby and put that to them when you're a VIP client. Because it's like, the song says VIP and I'm not gonna sing it for you.
Come on.
No, not going there.
See, Drew's
We're
dancing
all
already.
singing it in our
Drew's
house.
So I have in the past. Am I consistent with it? No.
I haven't really posted a lot. I think I had like one. I can't even remember what kind of real estate post I put on TikTok. But I really want to get more involved in it because I have seen some agents like post on there, and they posted some really cool stuff. I just don't know the editing and the cutting, and then this pops up and that pops up. This goes away. But I have seen like TikTok become like very popular of agents, and I'm like, man, like I want to do like the day in the life of a real estate agent, but you know, it's gonna take a while because I got to figure out how to like edit it and do all that stuff.
Editing
But
is awful. It takes me about 3 to 4
yeah,
hours to edit.
and like
YouTube
I'll
videos.
start, and I'm like, man, what did I do? So, but
Yeah.
I've seen people like really like, especially when stuff is like certain stuff is going on in the world,
Yeah.
like that stuff just always pops up on TikTok. Like, I
Some
can't
of
remember
it's
the
not
last.
real.
Yeah, and it's just like
Yeah.
just comes through. So I wanna do more real estate stuff on there. I just don't know.
No, I had the app for a while and it was a time suck. I loved I would just give a group chat. I would just send up TikToks. I got sucked into it.
The most
No,
random.
they were hilarious.
You would
I
share.
know.
So no, I know that I won't use it properly, and I don't want to learn how to edit, and my time will be better used elsewhere.
Okay, so if you had a choice, stories, reels, or TikTok, which one would you use for business?
Story, reels last longer, so reels.
Yeah, I learned that because when I thought about it, it's like story goes away in 24 hours, but the reels they stay up there.
I just found out about Reels today, so I'm a story girl.
Okay.
Can you clarify what's the difference between a story and a reel? Did you just do that?
Well, I mean, they've kind of done it here. So so the story is on Facebook, but it does go away. Reels are on Instagram, and there is a little button that just shows you how to create a reel,
Yeah.
but they do stay there. And of course, but I mean, like TikTok does stay there too. It's just like you said, like the
Instagram also has stories, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they
Stories-
like
stories
they
are all away.
Yeah.
it's
They go
24
away.
it's like
Unless you
24
pin-
hours, which
Yeah,
is
stories
really
are all
just.
24 hours unless you pin them.
I guess if you like you
Page.
get what is the logarithm or whatever, I'm not.
algorithm.
Real-
Algorithm.
It'll cycle through the whole
Yeah, it's
thing,
like
but if you post more, you get pushed further down in the algorithm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So,
Okay.
so you get up here less if you post too much.
All right, guys, so here's some interesting facts that I found. In 2020, 44% of real estate agents generated the most clients via social media, okay? So again, this is why we're here and we're talking about this. 82% of agents plan to improve their social media. Do you have it in your business plan? Yes. So there was a 2021 Realtor Technology Survey that found that 53% of respondents said that social media is one of the most valuable technology tools they use. 74% of realtors use Facebook for professional purposes. Here's a new one that I found out. Clubhouse, which is a social media app that prioritizes audio, has real estate conversation clubs with over 50,000 followers. And then, all right, here's where we're gonna age ourselves. 81% of older millennials and 80% of younger millennials and 78% of Gen X found their home on a mobile device.
What about the middle group?
They don't count.
We're still living in
Yeah,
lockdown.
Yes, still living with mom and, yes, that middle group still living with mom and dad.
Still living with mom. Okay, so let's talk about leads and where we get leads from. Do you guys pay for leads? Where do you get leads from?
I had one. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I had one and it wasn't worth it. So now I just try to, you know, build my business off referrals. I got a big friend group and, you know, they all know I'm a realtor. Like, I don't have to introduce myself to them as a realtor, so they know, and I've gotten some, you know, referrals from them and I thank them. Cause I think that's the best way to do it. It's just to build and offer referrals. Hey, Corey, you know, you helped me with this house, or, you know, you helped me with, you know, this land or whatever, and just build it off of that. I think that's the, you know, best way to do it.
And a follow-up, since we just talked about social media, do you think can you trace leads to your social media?
Yes.
Yeah, I've gotten people like tag me and stuff, and I end up, you know, they end up using me from Facebook. It hasn't happened a lot because, you know, when somebody says, "Hey, I'm looking for a realtor,"
You got like 82.
no, it's not even 80, it's like 200.
Oh, it's a lot.
It's 200 comments. The time they do it, they tag me. I'm like, there's no way. But you know, some other people, like close friends, I've gotten, you know, tagged and some stuff. So
I feel if it's Spotsy Talk, they just say Drew. Any
How did you get
Spotsy
everybody
Talk
Spotsy Talk?
recommendation, it's all Drew.
I think I'm in Spotsy Talk.
I do think that if someone tags you in one of those posts and you can look to see if you have mutual friends with the person that asked the question, and then you message them privately and you say, "Hey, I'm Deanna, I'm with Ulta Realty. Also, by the way, I saw that we have these mutual friends in common, or a lot of mutual friends in common," that helps start the conversation off of real estate to get you in there a little bit more with them, to get them talking to you versus other people.
mutual friends. I like
Yes.
that. I like
That's
that.
how I use that to my advantage.
That's a great tip to differentiate yourself from the crowd, because
And that's how
sometimes
you'll
it
get
can
them
be
to
hard.
Yes.
They don't think like you're a bot or something.
Right, you're not there just to sell them a house or to list their house, you're actually trying to connect with them on that personal
But
level.
then what if you're like mutual friends with people that they just
You're not friends with?
Well, then they shouldn't be friends with them.
I
on
mean,
Facebook.
they may not like that person anymore.
Well, that's
Frenemies.
Then they should have unfriended them.
Well, that would also strike a conversation.
That's true.
I mean, I don't say they're great people or what my opinion of them is, I just say we have mutual friends in common, or if it's one or two, like, hey, I see you know some of the same people.
We have mutual connections on Facebook.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Yep.
So I am very involved in the association, and I have been at all 3 levels of the association. So a lot of my social leads come from people I've met at conferences, at local, state, and national. I currently have 3 deals I'm working on, and they were all referrals from YPN people from across, well, one in Charlottesville, one in Missouri, and then one in California.
Sweet.
And you just passed a YPN referral on to me as well, thank you very much.
So, I know that a lot of people are like, I don't know how you do it, I don't know how you spend the time and the money, and really I try to make back at least what I've spent on the conferences, which I do get to write off because they're business expenses, but I'm trying to make back what I've spent, and I do usually every year.
So just a little side note here, there is, for those of you that want those referrals, we do have the YPN membership form up there you can fill out. And you can see Adarsh, our fabulous membership director. Yes, okay.
Well, then let's talk about networking. So when we are at all these association meetings and out and about, what's your best tip for networking?
Just talk to people, be friendly, shake their hand, introduce yourself, let them know what you do. If people don't know what you do, they don't know who to go to for their real estate needs. I think that's just the main thing when you're networking. Let people know what you do. And if you do have a part-time or a full-time job that is not commission-based, don't mention that one. Only mention the real estate, because then people are always gonna think, he or she's too busy. They're probably focused on their, oh, it's 4:30, they're probably still at their other job. And they won't call you, they'll find someone else. So I think that's a good tip.
Yeah, like, let people, not really, I try not to let people know what I do. I don't know how to say this, but I want them to ask me like what I do. So I don't come off like, hey, I'm a real estate agent, because they're like, oh, this guy's trying to sell me a house. Like, so like for instance, like I'm part of 2 hunt clubs, like 25 30 members in each one. So
Really?
60 people. So they all know me as the real estate agent. So
So bow or rifle? Both.
everything. So you know, they know me. Like I don't have to introduce myself as the Corey, the realtor. Like they know that. Will they use me every time? I don't know. But I have gotten a couple deals from that. And then other event, like just being socially like, with everyone, and you walk through the door, like you don't have to introduce yourself, you know, and just be confident with it, and just know that everybody in here knows, hey, you're a real estate agent, so if they need any real estate needs, they can come to you.
Yeah, there's different ways of doing this, and it's all gonna work different for everyone, but I am not that guy that's gonna walk in the room and be like, hello, I'm Drew First, I'm with Coldwell Banker Elite, I'm gonna sell you a house, you know, give me some, that's not me. I'm gonna talk to people naturally. Real estate is always gonna come out of my mouth somehow
Yes.
because we've realized we are all
Yeah.
robots.
Yes.
So it's gonna somehow come out that something dumb, like your lockbox thing, I would have just dropped that and people.
Yeah, I can't think with the lockbox going wrong, I wouldn't have thought to take a video of it.
Yeah,
I know.
I'd have thought about ripping it out the door.
That was a mistake, but I had to switch my train of thought.
But be a human. People want to work with a human being, not a robot. Which we're good. But be a human being. Be yourself. Don't go. Again, it works different for everyone. Don't push real estate so heavy that no one wants to talk to you. Just be cool. Be cool.
And they'll literally like come to you, like they know, like when I'm around like the members I'm with in the hunt club, like I'll have like my like on the phone or like on a laptop or something, so they know, and I'm like, hey, I can't make it today because I'm doing this, and so that it generally just comes out that, you know, I'm a real estate agent, because like I don't like when people push me to buy stuff, you know, and like, hey, you know, buy this. I'm like, no, if you act like a human being and you're very nice and cool, all right, buy it, you know, but if you're too pushy with it, I'm like, I don't need it, like.
Because it's a relationship business. Make a relationship with these people because you're gonna want them in your life for long-term clients. So
I think that's true.
Yeah, I just went over one of my clients' house like last Sunday. They had me open. It was the best of time. It was the first time I ever done that because I always felt like awkward going to hang out with like clients. But the deal was done. Everything was like there was no like work involved anymore, so I could really be myself.
Great. Now, when you do meet new people at networking or events, what's your follow-up campaign look like? Do you have a follow-up campaign? Do you try to reach out to them again? What do you do?
No. It has to be like, I use it like hot and cold, and maybe something like, hey, I wanna buy in like 6 months. So obviously you gotta follow up. You don't wanna follow up with them like every single day because they're gonna like, you're deleted, you're blocked, like. So, you know, if it's like something cold, like it may be like a once a month thing, you know, or like once every 2 months. If it's, you know, pretty hot, then you're like, you know, just every week or so, once a week. And I just put it like in my calendar, like, hey, call this person, text this person. I've been paying attention to like how they communicate, like, is it email, text, you know, whatever it is, Facebook Messenger, whatever works comfortable for them is what I use, but it's really on like how serious the situation is. So if it's hot or cold, and then if it takes 6 months, it takes 6 months. If it takes a year, it takes a year, you know.
I always throw it out there too, like, hey, find me on Facebook, and then that will keep, like, then they'll be like, okay, and they'll look you up on Facebook, and then that keeps you in front of them without you being like annoying and calling them 24/7. And I also use my CRM a lot for that, because then I'll put their email address or their phone number in, and it'll generate a mass email to everyone, kind of, just to stay in front of them. Or a text message, and I don't do it but like every 3 months or so it doesn't spam their box all the time.
Well, you know, it seems that the underlying theme is that we're in the business of building relationships and establishing rapport and developing trust with people, and it's all about how to do that and staying front of mind, and we have lots of avenues that we can do that with in our business, and all about trying to find that balance so that we have time to be connected and then also have time for ourselves and our loved ones and any extracurricular body jam activities.
I took a body jam class one time.
Does anybody have any questions for our panelists today?
Please, someone, come on, ask, yes.
What CRM do you use to prefer?
I use Sierra Interactive because I can actually use it to power my website. I can do calls from it. I can send out mass emails that will have the unsubscribe button. It will allow for me to do mass text. I can also have it schedule emails for holidays to my clients. And it's called Sierra Interactive. SIERRA.
Does anyone else have a CRM they really love?
I use Salesforce.
Yeah, I personally use Zoho because it's all interactive.
Can you spell that for us?
Say again.
Can you spell that for us?
ZOHO, Zoho.
I use Total Expert. I think they have some good content. Yeah, we use it as well.
Oh, the question is, how often do you post on social media?
I am up in the, if like I'm doing things, it's multiple times a day. And then sometimes I don't post for weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I do post, I try to post like I feel like, and this is like no number, like a percentage or anything, but like I think most people scroll Facebook between like 6 and 8 in the morning or like 9. So I try to post during that time, and then in the evening.
I love that you think about
When
it.
do
It's
you
like-
get on social
Got up
media?
at 6 o'clock.
When-
I'm in the evening time.
Yeah, so like it's either like early in the morning. Like think about it, when you're like going to work and you get to work, you're like, oh, I'm on my phone.
You know, you can schedule it, Drew.
Yeah,
Do the
and
day before and schedule it
then
the
like
night
in the
before.
evening time when you get,
Yeah.
you know, people like Drew at the dinner table when you should be concentrating on, it's Chris, right? Chris, you're on TikTok. So that's when, you know, I try to
So a
post.
couple of times a day?
Well, not really a couple times a day,
Okay.
but you know, like let's say if I get a new listing, I'm like, all right, let me wake up and I'm gonna post it around like 7, 8 o'clock, you know, that when I think people are looking at it. And then if, you know, someone sees it, a buyer may see it, and they're like, hey, they reach out to their agent, it's early enough in the day, in the day that they can schedule it later on. And then in the evening time when people are like, you know, 5, 6, that's when I try to do it. And maybe in the midday. What about you?
I just kind of sporadically post, but I do post multiple times per day. There will be maybe 2 days that I go without posting, but I'm pretty consistent with it. And I bounce between feed and story. That way they're not only seeing the feed and they're not only seeing all stories. That way I'm catching people that like both.
I think the optimal number is 1 to 3 times per day and 3 reels per week.
Yeah, I'm trying to get big. I'm trying to get big on the reels now.
Optimize your viewing
Yeah, I'm really
for
trying to
all
get my reels.
platforms.
Yeah, so I mean, like you can Google this. I mean, it's definitely something where there are algorithms and it'll tell you like who's on at what time of day and what day of the week and blah, blah, blah. You can do like all that stuff. I have some really good social media tips that are super secret, so I'm not gonna share them. But
I don't gatekeep, so I'll tell you a nice social media tip.
That's
So,
a girl.
get other people to do the work for you on your thing. When you say this is my new listing, your third ad, it has to pay your down payment for this house. I don't know why that intrigues people. Tagging other people is like a game. And then next thing you know, when there's more people tagged, they start commenting with each other inside the replies. Your post will stay on top for about 4 days of everyone's feed.
It's all about the algorithm and the engagement.
Yeah, and then you just pop in there and do a couple like haha reactions on their comments or wow. Facebook sees more engagement happening, it will keep it at the top, especially if there's more people tagged on it. Their whole goal is to make sure they can push notifications to people's phones saying so-so tagged you to open up the Facebook tab.
And the other part I
And
would
like
kind
your
of
own post.
piggyback off that with you is if you see somebody comment on like your post, just by you typing in thank you and replying to that one person, don't say thank you to all 5 of them, just do one at a time, cause then every time somebody makes a comment or a like, it'll pop it fresher, so do like, you know, if it's something that's really content heavy and you want more engagement, like go back to it every 30 minutes or so and then
Yeah, or
just make a
comment
comment.
gifts in the
Yeah.
comments. comments. Facebook wants you to use their tools, so.
I do most of the time try to respond to each person that responds to my post because that keeps them responding.
Yeah, I was doing the respond to all 10 of them, all 15 at one time.
I
Yeah.
really feel like I'm
Just
super
like-
busy, but
I was
Just
doing that
hit
too.
the
Like,
like.
so.
Everything wrong.
Well, this is why
So-
you're here.
So social media is also like networking. You want to make sure that you use the, well, and like swimming, you want to make sure that you use the buddy system. So again, if you're posting something,
Elaborate that.
buddy system.
I'm just
So-
gonna talk sharing everything.
Yes, well, no, I mean, so when you're doing something, okay, whatever it is that you're sharing or doing, if you are, tag the place where you are, you know, check in and everything, because it's gonna go on their feed. And, you know, and again, go with a buddy. So like if you're going somewhere, if you're doing something and you tag someone else, then it goes on their feed as well. And so you are creating much more of the sphere. Adding hashtags on there, of course, like really helps. And you have to add at least 3 or it doesn't like really like get anything. I think now it's like up to 5 or something, but that will, because of the algorithms of Facebook, it's gonna show you whatever things that you have been looking for and searching for on there, any of those hashtags, it's gonna show that up into your feed, so. Okay, I shared one, oh my God. Well, no, I'm coming up with a class. So you have to come to my class.
Oh, we'll be there.
And by the way, if you're like, I don't have people to call or friends that will go with me, you have 1,800 family members here at farm. You've always got someone to call, someone to reach out to your YPN and be like, hey, let's go get lunch or grab coffee or get a drink. You are never alone by them.
Hey, yes. Love that. Well, that's a good segue into recognizing all of our wonderful YPN managers that we have here today. I want to thank everyone. So I'm your 2022 chair. We have Selena Kim, who is our community outreach manager.
Everyone says who you are.
Yes. Tina Darsh